Hey guys, this is Elizabeth Lariva. Today I wanted to talk about the top 5 most common mistakes when it comes to purchasing a condominium. I don't want you to make those mistakes, so stick around if you want to learn more. So what are those top 5 common mistakes? Number 1 is going to be not checking where your parking stall or your storage unit is. Keep in mind in Hawaii, it's so limited, the land, right? That sometimes you'll find a building with parking stall, but the parking may be compact. And if you're driving a huge truck or an SUV, you definitely want to check that. Is it going to fit? Is it going to be really tight? So that's something you should definitely check. Same thing with the storage, right? If your unit comes with the storage, make sure that you double check which storage it is. And one tip that I can give you is while you are in escrow, try to add the parking stall number or the storage number to your deed. That's something that you can have a conversation with the escrow officer, and we can add the parking stall number and parking stall storage unit number as well to your deed, just so there's no complications or anything later on down the road. So yeah, that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is don't forget to check where your trash is. Why? Because in Hawaii, there are certain buildings that do not come with the trash chute. So, it's important to know, am I going to be taking my trash to another location? Am I going to be walking far? I'm always wearing high heels, so I always like to see how close things are from me. But yeah, that's another tip that I can give you. Mistake number 3 is don't forget to always check on the paperwork for the association. If you're buying a building, if you're buying even a house and it does have an association or is part of a subdivision, don't forget to check on those things. Why? Because here you're going to be finding the house rules, right? It's important that you know, hey, in my building, are pets allowed or not? And if pets are allowed, what kind of pets? Maybe, I don't know, you may be scared about a certain breed of pets. You need to know what are the quiet hours, what are the times that you can move in, what are the rules when it comes to construction as well. Don't forget to also double check, triple check, what does the maintenance fees include? Right? Because sometimes I know when you're looking at a property, sometimes in the MLS it can say what the things are included, but don't just trust this information. It's always important that we double check with the association, with this paperwork, what is it included. Keep in mind, one thing that I always like to check is the insurance. Is flood insurance cover is part of the maintenance fees, or is something that you're going to have to add to your mortgage, right? Because then it comes to an additional monthly expense. So that's something that you should double check. At the same time, we want to check the lender's disclosures and the RR 105. Pretty much in this kind of information, you will see how many owners are in default with their maintenance fees, if there's any litigations or if there's any assessments coming up, right? Because if there is an assessment coming up, probably if you take over the property, now you will be responsible for that assessment. Is it going to increase your maintenance fees? Is it going to be a lump sum? So this kind of information is always important that we double check. I know it's a really thick paperwork that you get, but it's really worth it. And you can always feel free to also consult an attorney. I can always refer you to somebody that can review this paperwork for you if you don't want to read them all. I do take a look at it. More than anything, I don't check the bylaws or the declarations because it's a little bit out of my area of expertise, but I do highlight things for you. I want to make sure that, for example, if you smoke, you know what are the rules with smoking, because smoking may not be allowed in the building. If you have pets, same thing, right? So that's something that I always recommend to triple check if can. The other thing that you should double check when it comes to purchasing a condominium is don't forget regarding this paperwork, while you are in escrow, we're going to be providing this information to you, right? Because the seller is going to give it to you. However, don't forget to ask for an update to the paperwork of the association. Why? Because if you're in escrow today, let's just say, usually escrows are 45 days. It's important that prior to closing, you get an update to this paperwork. Of course, there are some things that are not going to be changing, but a couple things, for example, in the minutes, the regular minutes, you're going to see what was the last month's meeting, what did they talk about, and things like that. So it's always better safe than sorry. Don't forget to check on this information. And the other mistake that I always try to avoid for my clients, I always like to think on the future. A lot of people think, oh no, this is it, Elizabeth, I'm not going to be moving. And then, because in Hawaii you build equity so fast, probably in 3 years you're going to be like, oh, Elizabeth, let's just sell this one and buy a house or upgrade or move, or things change. So for me, it's always important that you think on the resale value of the property, that you think on what could be the future plans for the unit as well. Why? Because if you do get to, for example, buy a property with a gorgeous view, however, there's an empty lot in the front, we gotta think, right? Like, what kind of land designation is the one right in front? Why? Because what if another building is built right in front, right? And then probably it will block your view. And in Hawaii, views can be worth so much money. So it's important that we double check on these. Another thing, for example, is what are they, what's happening around the neighborhood? What is construction? What is that construction happening down the corner, right? We always want to, plan for the future, because you don't know, right, what things can happen. But yeah, those are the most common mistakes when it comes to buying a condominium. Don't forget to let me know if there's any other questions that you have, and let me know if there's any other mistakes that we should be avoiding. You can always feel free to leave any comments here. So thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a like. Let me know what kind of topics you would like to talk about, what kind of videos I should be doing, what are those questions that you have. Again, my name is Elizabeth Lariva.